Happy New Year, Virgo. Welcome to your January 2022 astrological forecast. So, the month starts off with the sun in a fellow earth sign, Capricorn. Okay, up until the 19th. There's a new moon in Capricorn on the 2nd. Venus is still in Capricorn in retrograde motion, but turns direct on the 29th. Let me see here. Yes, and Mars moves into Capricorn on the 24th, and Mercury will be turning retrograde, right? And it retrogrades so much out, far back, okay, it declines in degrees and falls right back into Capricorn. Okay, so where you have Capricorn in your chart is your 5th house of fun and romance and entertainment of any kind, sports, games, speculation, gambling. Let's go to a casino, right? Did I say romance? Yeah, romance, creativity, your children, someone else's children, or childish games or whatever. So, Pluto is still here. It's been here for years. It's going to be here for a little while longer. So your idea of all of the things I just mentioned has changed a little bit, okay, since Pluto has been here. So now, like all of these, planets in your 5th house here does, especially the sun, really, wherever the sun is transiting is where your focal point is at that time. So that's what you're looking at right now. Maybe you start the year off this way, like every year, by attending maybe a party or holding a party even, or taking possibly a small trip, a short trip somewhere, or whatever. This being the house of romance and Mars moving here, okay, on the 24th, Venus already being here, so you've got the love planets, Venus and Mars traveling together again in your 5th house of romance. So, do I have to spell it out to you, right? Okay, so obviously romance is on the agenda, okay? If you're not already involved with anyone right now, it's a good idea, to, attend any kind of gathering, possibly a party or get together with your friends, for fun or for whatever, okay? There's a really strong possibility you can meet someone new at this time. But it has a lot to do with the fact that even if you're not looking, at least you're out there. Okay, and like I said, both of these planets are in your 5th house of romance together. So, there's a really, really good chance that you can meet someone new, or if you're already involved with someone, it could get a lot more serious, at this time. Especially like when Mars moves here. Mars is, pretty active, physically active kind of planet. You could actually take up some form of exercise or sport, like you dancing. You do this because it's fun. You're doing it for fun right now because wherever Mars is, it makes you very energetic, and it's a great way to let off steam, to do so, but you're still doing something fun, okay? But it's something that you might actually hold on to because it's good for your health, okay? So you could be, participating in some kinds of games physically, or sports or something like that, or like I said, dancing, okay? But before Mars moves into your 5th house, it's still in Sagittarius up until the 23rd in your 4th house, where you have the sign of Sagittarius. So your 4th house is your personal life, okay? But it's your home life, your family. It's where you actually physically live, okay? And it's also like your past and your childhood, right? So having Mars here does make you really active, like within your home. You're making changes there, usually physical changes. With Mars, like I said, it brings a lot of energy, physical energy. So you're actually like maybe even remodeling, doing a lot more than just painting, or you're, the walls, or getting new curtains. Maybe you're getting new furniture, or you're just doing something there. You're trying to clear stuff out to make room for something else. Or you're just making some kind of changes in the living arrangement if you live with other people, or some kind of changes within your family, you know, if you have a family, right, that you live with. If you live by yourself, again, we're just back to making changes, physical changes to your environment, home environment, okay? So you could be holding, you know, a party or gathering at your own place. Okay, and this could be where, you know, maybe a friend brings a friend, and this is how you may possibly meet someone at this time. If it's not romance, it could be in regards to creativity, a collaboration with someone or other, some kind of form of art, some form of art. It could be acting, could be script writing, a play or something like that, film, anything, you know, that you could be possibly involved in at this time, especially around that new moon on the 2nd, okay, occurring in your 5th house here. It brings new beginnings wherever a new moon is, okay, so it's a start. You're starting possibly something at this time, okay. Now there's a full moon in Cancer on the 17th, and where you have Cancer in your chart is your 11th house. It's directly across from this 5th house of Capricorn. So your 11th house is your like most sociable house. It's where you go to hang out, okay, and the people you hang out with and your friends, any kind of organization that you belong to, okay. It's also the house of dreams, hopes, and wishes. Okay, so whatever occurs around that time of the full moon may possibly occur even on social media, because if you're not going out physically to like hang out or socialize with your friends, you're more than likely doing it online, okay, in social media. So something could happen while you're, you know, posting something or other. Somebody could say something or do something about your post, report you for nothing. You know, there's people like that, you know, they just do it for fun. So you're put in, let's say, like Facebook jail or something like that. Or you could have just some kind of really, like a disagreement with a friend, okay? And full moons bring issues or problems to the surface so they can be dealt with. Okay, and then done away with, and you don't have to worry about it again. So your friend could be doing something that gets on your nerves, or you could be doing something that gets on their nerves. Or this could be in regards to, again, a romantic partner or a creative partner, you know, involved in some kind of work that you're doing. So it all comes out around that full moon, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing to get it out and out of the way. Okay, so the sun moves into Aquarius on the 19th, okay, where you have Aquarius in your chart is your 6th house. The planet Saturn is still there. Okay, Jupiter was here but just moved into Pisces, your opposite sign. But I'll get to that in a minute, okay. So the sun's here in your 6th house of the workplace, the kind of work that you do, your co-workers, your work schedule. It's also the house of service. Okay, service to others. It's also your house of health. Okay, so you could be starting off the year with being very health conscious. You know, Virgos usually are, you know. If you don't work out, this would be the time that you will start doing that, especially when Mars moves into here, when it leaves your 5th house of Capricorn and moves into Aquarius. It will give you an awful lot of energy, physical energy, okay? So Mercury is in Aquarius from the 2nd on, but it turns retrograde on the 14th and declines in degrees to the point where it falls back into Capricorn on the 25th, I think it is. Yeah. So it's going back and forth in between your 5th and 6th houses, okay? So, first of all, now just having Saturn in your 6th house, okay, before Jupiter was here, acting as a little bit of a buffer, you know, so you weren't getting the full effect of Saturn because Jupiter was traveling right along with it. So, but now that Jupiter has moved, Saturn is definitely here. So this is a time where you could, you know, realize actually, especially with like these, like the Sun and Mercury and whatever being here, just after Jupiter left this area. Okay, it wouldn't happen this quickly, but it will. Maybe, yeah, maybe by the end of the month when the Sun moves into Aquarius, you know, towards the end of the month. It is noticeable that you may have had some kind of physical ailment, something with your health that was bothering you, and you couldn't figure out what it was, and you could find that it's your job. It's where you work, physically where you work, in the building. Okay, there could be something in the building, something possibly that you're breathing, like chemicals, something coming through the air conditioning and heating unit that's not right, okay? Even new carpeting or furniture has a chemical on it that could be bothering you, you know, and you could be having an allergic reaction to it, or just something there, or physically you're doing something at work that you wouldn't normally be doing. Okay, you may even be sitting incorrectly or standing for too long or something like that, but it's usually not something you would normally be doing. And that's another thing, is to do just that. Never do anything that is not part of your job that could harm you in any way, because if you were ever going to get hurt on the job, you would do it when Saturn was in your 6th house, okay? Because then you have to try to get workman's comp, or you're out of work, or, you know, whatever. It's just like an extended trying time of something that's already a trying time, the accident or whatever in itself, okay? All the paperwork and all the crap that follows after that is sometimes even worse, okay? So don't climb ladders at work unless that's part of your job. Don't lift heavy objects. Don't do whatever. You know, this could even be, you know, for people who are anti-vaxxers, you know, don't want to take the vaccine or something. So that could be like the big issue that's, you know, on your plate right now, okay? Or even having to work with co-workers that make you sick. They are literally making you sick, okay? And it isn't even COVID half the time. It could be just people who insist on coming to work while they're sneezing and coughing in your face, okay? So it just depends on whatever it is that's going on in the workplace. Either there are policies or something that are not enforced. They're there to protect you, and nobody cares. You know, they don't do anything about it. Something happens, you're supposed to report it. Even if you report a big deal, you know, so they have a paper trail, but nobody ever does anything about it. Okay, something like that. That's what I mean. You could actually get a new boss or a new co-worker that's like a real killjoy, you know what I mean? They're hard to work with, uncooperative, they don't want to do anything. Everything's your job and other people's job, you know, it doesn't have nothing to do with them. You know, things like that. You could begin to notice stuff like this, okay? It's not saying that it's going to happen, but if it was going to happen, this would be the time that you would first see it, okay? It's not really like a big ongoing thing. Okay. Now Jupiter, though, has moved into your 7th house where you have Pisces. Okay, Jupiter moved into Pisces at the end of December. And your 7th house is your house of partnerships, your close friends. Romantic partner, business partner. This is also the house of like open enemies and competition, competitors. It's the house of like lawyers or consultants. If you wanted to, you know, look into something or other, this would be the time. This would be the best time to do something like that. Is it to get the services of like a professional. But usually when Jupiter is here, okay, is when people get married. Actually, okay. That doesn't mean that you're going to get married unless you had already had plans to do that, okay? I did do a video on Jupiter in Pisces and the fact that Neptune is also in Pisces right now. I took that into consideration along with this transit. So we have both Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces traveling together. And so that's a little bit different than just having Jupiter in Pisces, okay? The two of these planets together, they're both very spiritual planets, okay? So it could give you, first of all, just having Neptune in your 7th house by itself, it's been there for a couple years now, does kind of mean you're not seeing any of your partners or close friends very clearly. You're really giving them the benefit of the doubt, okay? They could be up to something or keeping something from you. It could be just like a little small white lie, but it could actually be something that you really, you would probably want to know about, right? As far as the open enemies go, somebody could really, really be undermining you and you're not aware of it, okay? But now that Jupiter has moved here, that very person that you are aware of, that you do not get along with, that they dislike you or whatever, or they compete with you or something in some way or other. They may try to befriend you now, having Jupiter here. Okay, Jupiter brings good fortune and expansion and opportunity, whatever house it is transiting in. So you should have more options as far as your relationships go. If you should have more people, let's say, to date. If it's romantic, you should have more business opportunities to form some kind of partnership with a business partnership, and also friends, though. A nice, good, close friend could possibly come into the picture. Now, the thing about Jupiter, I don't believe there are any bad aspects. Okay, so Jupiter will oppose your sun, rising sun, or whatever planet you have in Virgo, because Pisces is your opposite sign. But I think it's a good thing. The only thing that, like, Jupiter opposed sun or ascendant does is it makes you possibly go overboard in some way or other. But sometimes people are kind of like leading a little bit of a sheltered or stifled life, and they need to go overboard a little bit. What is overboard for them could be like nothing. You could be like, what? They think that's wild, or something or other. But it depends on you. It's just to keep in mind, never put all your eggs in one basket. I mean, I could go down a list of all of those really quaint sayings, but that it is a good thing. Okay, you could really overcome an awful lot of stuff. You could have an awful lot of good luck, good fortune. The whole time that this planet is here, you just have to make sure that, let's say you don't give your partner or close friend or whatever all of the ability to make decisions for you or whatever. You know what I mean? You have to always be aware of what the hell's going on here, even once this planet moves, okay? Because just having Neptune there, you really should know what your close relationships with certain people, what they're up to, because you are really, like I said, giving them the benefit of the doubt. I'm pretty sure you're giving them attributes that they don't even possess, okay, making them so nice and so sweet and blah, blah, blah. And they may be, but whatever, probably not the way you paint them in your mind, okay? So now, the planet Uranus is in Taurus in your 9th house, and it's been retrograde for a while, but it finally turns direct on the 18th. Okay, so your 9th house is, it's the long-distance travel and communication. It's foreign anything, okay, foreign people, countries, languages, lifestyle, culture. It's the house of higher learning, publishing, media. It's an internet house, big communication house, though. Communication and travel. So having the planet Uranus here does sometimes mean you have opportunities to suddenly travel. Doesn't necessarily have to be to a foreign country or very far away. Or you are being exposed to different cultures, or you are learning something that is very esoteric, a subject that, I don't know, that hasn't existed for centuries or something, whatever. Something a little unusual. You have to keep in mind that the planet Uranus governs unusual and sudden events even, or people. There's always something a little bit different about the people that you meet in like this whole ninth house thing. Ninth house being the house of adventure. So that could be the key word for you, is adventure. Okay. So the best time to do something each month is when the moon is in your own sign, and the moon is in Virgo on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And the best time to lay low is when the moon is in your opposite sign, and your opposite sign is Pisces, and those dates are the 6th and 7th. The best time for romance, recreation, creativity, fun, any kind of speculation or gambling, and anything to do with children is the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 15th, 16th, 17th, 29th, and 30th. The best time for money is the 8th, 9th, 10th, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. The best time for your career is the 13th, 14th, and 15th. And the best time for communication and travel is, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to write it in. Oh, the suspense is killing me. Well, you know what? I'll put it in the description box below. Okay, sorry about that. Anyways, I would like to thank my subscribers for returning and always supporting me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that now and click on the notification bell. You'll be notified each time I upload something. Also, check out my weekly forecast and check out my Ask Me a Question in the description box below. It's for people who are only interested in maybe one or two things about their chart. But if you would like to have your entire chart done, there's also a link there to my website. Okay, so Happy New Year to everybody, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.